Hello, my name is Jimmy and today you join me in the 2021 Subaru Crosstrek. This has a special heart under the hood and is brand new for 2021. So let's do a quick acceleration test to see exactly, well, what this new heart can do. Put it onto S because that is sport mode, obviously. A little bit of brake torque. Let's see. Okay, it picks up pretty well on the top end. Ugh, that CVT though. Zero to 60 comes in at 7.5 seconds. That's, well, not like super quick, but it is a lot faster than the base 2-liter. That took 9 seconds to get up to 60. So this is quite a big improvement and something that a lot of enthusiasts has been asking for. Although enthusiasts were asking for the WRX engine, the FA20, the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. But sadly, all we got here is a 2.5-liter Boxer 4. It's still really good, but it may not be exactly what we're looking for. Let's take a look at the Crosstrek itself. Started back in 2013, basing itself on the Impreza, it actually sold quite well. However, it's not the first time Subaru has, well, done this kind of concept. A while back, they made the Outback Sport, which was basically the same thing. Lifted Impreza and people absolutely loved it. Now in its second generation, people are loving it even more. Launched a little over 2 years ago, in the US, Subaru has sold 380,000 of them. So yeah, this is the mass market compact Subaru SUV. The example we have here is the Canadian spec limited trim, which means it has all the bells and whistles. Trims in the US and Canada differ quite a bit, so I can't speak too much about the variables. For example, in Canada here, we have an outdoor trim, which is the sport trim in the US. However, we still have a sport trim here, which is a, well, kind of a stripped down limited trim. Either way, it's very complicated. But let's get back to this specific car. In this cool gray khaki, it looks really good. The new front grille and bumper differentiate it from the previous models. Flanked to the side are LED headlights that respond to the vehicle steering. This, unfortunately, is only available on the top trims. On the side, we get 18-inch wheels. Lesser model gets 17. Either way, they look nice and rugged. Adding to that overall ruggedness are these fender flares. The only thing is, well, the styling of these flares, well, there's just so many different angles and edges and curves to them. It's just a little bit odd. Around back, we get combination LED tail lamps and a rugged lower rear bumper to reduce bumps and scrapes from whatever parking lot maneuvers you may encounter. Overall, the Crosstrek is a really good looking vehicle. It may not look as fancy as like the CX-30, but it's still a very good looking vehicle overall. Let's take a look at the inside. Starting from the trunk, we have 20.8 cubic feet of space. While it's definitely not the largest, it's decent for a subcompact. For longer items, we can fold the rear seats 60/40 where needed. The rear seats themselves are good. There's a decent amount of headroom and legroom for my 5'11" height, and the front seat is already adjusted to my proportions here. I do wish for a little bit more like vents or USB ports back here, but cutting a little bit of cost here is definitely okay. Moving to the front seats, well, these are very nice. These leather seats are plush and soft with the contrasting orange stitching that spans across the interior. It adds a little bit of pizzazz to the rather kind of boring interior. There's nothing wrong with it fundamentally. It's all functional, but it just lacks the wow factor that you may find in some other vehicles. The steering wheel, for example, has 22 buttons on it. It's just, well, a little bit complicated. We have 3 different screens in here as well. First, between the gauges, we have a cluster that shows you some of the driving information like your fuel economy, trip, as well as your speed. The second screen is mounted in the middle, on top of the dash. This screen shows more information, like your safety information, an inclinometer, vehicle stats like temperature, weather, your radio station, and a whole lot more. And then there's the last screen, the Infotainment. It works well. There's a few hard buttons for easy access, there's Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. And even has a Harman Kardon system, which actually sound quite good. But this is the upgraded 8-inch system. On lower grade models, you get a 6.5-inch screen, which definitely looks a little bit out of place. And on the base models, you don't even get a CD player. But who's using CDs anyways? Lower down, we have the dual zone climate control. It's a very easy to use system. And that's really the gist of the interior. It's a very easy to use, simple layout. Anyone can just jump in and, well, figure it all out. There's nothing complicated in here. And something else you'll notice right away is, well, just the amount of visibility. It's actually one of the Crosstrek's specialties. As you're on the road, you definitely notice it. The visibility for it is amazing. With the mirrors mounted on the doors rather than the A-pillar, looking back, it is a little bit more difficult as the rear window is a little bit smaller, but everything in front is great. As for how it drives, well, the 2.5 liter that's in here with 182 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque does make the Crosstrek a whole lot better. Dip into the throttle, wakes up. It's a little loud. There isn't as much insulation in here as, for example, the CX-30, which, well, let's be honest, it's one of its biggest on-road competitor. The ride itself is nice and plush, it's soft, it's actually very car-like because, well, it's based on a car. It's based on the Impreza. That's why it's just so good. While it may not be a complete sports car, it's still quite fun to drive. The steering is quite communicative. You, well, toss it into corners and you just feel the car kind of wallow in pitch because of the softer suspension design. But that actually makes it a little bit more exciting, a little bit more fun. And don't think the 2.5 liter uses more fuel than before. In the city, it's rated for 27 miles per gallon, highway 34, and combined 29. For us Canadians, that's 8.8 liters per 100 in the city, 7 liters on the highway, and 8.1 combined. Comparing to the figures of the standard 2 liter, it's actually better on the highway by 1 mile per gallon. Something Subaru offers as the advanced safety package is the Eyesight system, which is mounted right here in the middle. It actually causes some problems. The first thing is the visor itself. It's like half length. You just don't get anything in the middle. You can extend it, but it's just not as useful as a standard length visor. But they do that because there is a block of plastic up here for the Eyesight system itself. The Eyesight system actually works well though. The smart cruise control, the lane departure warning, the lane keep assist, it all works really, really well. But there is one flaw that I found. Right now, because the temperatures have been dropping and it's quite cold, I parked this vehicle outside and then the windshield, of course, got a little foggy. And because of that, well, the sensor cannot see past that fog. If it's the standard system that's generally mounted behind the grille, like most other manufacturers, they don't have a problem with fog. Yes, in the snow, it doesn't work that well or at all because once snow covers that sensor, it's basically inactive. But this is killed off by a little bit of fog on the windshield. So that's definitely a problem. However, if you wait for it to defrost, it does work. So there's that. All right, let me pull over here and give a summary about the 2021 Impreza. Feels like an Impreza, but it's actually the Crosstrek, a lifted Impreza. It's a very, very good car overall. It's soft, and with the additional power of that 2.5 liter, it's exactly what people are asking for. I'm sure there's going to be people that's always going to be asking for more power, but this as an overall package, fuel economy wise, power wise, well, it's like the best of all worlds. It's not too much power where you're sacrificing fuel economy or potential maintenance. It's just a simple 2.5 liter Boxer 4. So yeah, this is definitely something I would recommend. As for pricing, the Crosstrek starts at $22,245 US and it tops out around mid $31,000. In Canada, it's $23,795, and with the limited trim that we have here, it's $34,495. So in terms of pricing, it's pretty competitive to like the CX-30, the Hyundai Kona, as well as the Kia Seltos, the biggest competitors to the Crosstrek. But the Crosstrek, it's designed to go off-road. Unlike the others where, well, they're more on-road based, although their marketing materials show that they can go off-road and whatnot, they're not really designed to. This is. It has X mode. You press it, it shows you rugged things. It can do it. And there's a huge aftermarket network that, well, specializes in modifying these Crosstrek, lifting them, big tires. You can basically ruin it by putting big tires and wheels on it because, well, it's going to make it even slower. But with the 2.5 liter that's in here, well, it's going to help. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Crosstrek in the comments down below. Is it worth it? In my eyes, definitely think so. If you're looking for a basically go anywhere compact SUV, this is definitely one to look into. If you need a little bit more space, of course, take a look at the Outback. In any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.